Assalamu alaikum students. I welcome you to lecture number 15 of the decision making in non-profit sector. Today's agenda is to have a preview of the last lecture where we have discussed about the perceptions of Pakistan earthquake response, case study which was conducted by Dr. Andrew Wilder over here in Pakistan by Feinstein International Center, University of Boston, America. उसका दूसरा पार्ट जो है that is perceptions of Pakistan earthquake response part 2 आज हम आपके सामने डिस्कस करेंगे. ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम रिलीफ टू रिकंस्ट्रक्शन फेज. जिस वक्त अर्थक्वेक 2005 में हिट हुआ, पिछले लेक्चर में हमने रिलीफ फेज को डिस्कस किया, अब हम रिकंस्ट्रक्शन फेज को डिस्कस करेंगे. उसमें जो इतनी ट्रांजिशन है, जो चेंज है फ्रॉम रिलीफ टू रिकंस्ट्रक्शन, वो कैसे थी. ह्यूमैनिटेरियन कोऑर्डिनेशन, परसेप्शंस ऑफ द क्लस्टर्स अप्रोच, जो क्लस्टर्स बना दिए गए, हेल्थ का क्लस्टर बना दिया गया, न्यूट्रिशन का बना दिया गया, एजुकेशन का क्लस्टर बना दिया गया, तो ये कोई 10 के करीब क्लस्टर्स बने थे. यूनिवर्सलिटी ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटेरियनिज्म, perceptions of human actors, the culture insensitivity, जितनी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आए थे कल्चर इनसेंसिटिविटी उनके लिहाज से क्या थी. इनसाइडर्स एंड आउटसाइडर्स एंड लोकल्स विद लोकल्स विद इन लोकल्स, along with that followed by the conclusion. So this is again our agenda for today, which is perceptions of Pakistan earthquake response, transition from relief to reconstruction, humanitarian coordination, perceptions of the clusters approach, universality of the humanitarianism, perceptions of human actors, culture insensitivity, insiders and outsiders, and locals within locals, followed by the conclusion. Soon after the disaster, when relief efforts were finished, in April 2006, 6 months after the earthquake, the relief phase transitioned into the reconstruction phase. जब भी डिजास्टर आता है तो सबसे पहले रिलीफ फेज शुरू होता है, उसके बाद रिकंस्ट्रक्शन होती है, फिर रिहैबिलिटेशन होती है. रिकंस्ट्रक्शन में उनको शेल्टर्स, उनको घर बना के दिए जाते हैं, और एरा अर्थक्वेक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एंड रिहैबिलिटेशन अथॉरिटी, दे प्लेड देयर रोल of in the reconstruction phase. And this was majorly symbolized by the Federal Relief Commission, जिनके हेड जनरल मेजर जनरल नदीम थे, और इसके साथ साथ कोलैबोरेटिव एफर्ट थी एरा की. So it was mostly symbolized by the Federal Relief Commission being phased out as an independent entity, and its responsibilities were taken over by the Earthquake Reconstruction and Rehabilitation Authority. तो initially relief की खिदमत जो Federal Relief Commission जो था, FRC जो दे रहा था, उसके बाद फिर उनकी खिदमत जो थी वो ख़त्म हो गई, और उसके बाद रिकंस्ट्रक्शन का काम शुरू हुआ, और उसमें अर्थक्वेक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एंड रिहैबिलिटेशन अथॉरिटी जो थी एरा, पाकिस्तान में जो कि वाहिद अथॉरिटी है जो कि रिकंस्ट्रक्शन के काम में करती है, इन्वॉल्व होती है व्हेन डिजास्टर हिट पाकिस्तान. तो उस दौरान अर्थक्वेक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एंड रिहैबिलिटेशन अथॉरिटी ने दे हैव टेकन ओवर एंड दे स्टार्टेड वर्क ऑफ रिकंस्ट्रक्शन. Like the Relief Commission, ARA was technically a civilian institution, but it was still very much run by the military officers. जितने भी armed forces के retired और early retirement जिन्होंने ली हुई armed officers ने, they are the heads of, mostly they are the elites of the top management level पे और middle level management पे, army officers, military officers retired, they are over there in ARA. ARA and the Interagency Standing Committee, IASC, jointly developed an early recovery plan, ERP, that outlined a set of programs designed to minimize the gap between relief and reconstruction. So, ARA or Interagency Standing Committee, IASC, they jointly developed an early recovery plan, ERP, that outlined a set of programs designed to minimize the gap between relief and reconstruction. रिलीफ और रिकंस्ट्रक्शन के दरमियान जो गैप था उसको मिनिमाइज करने के लिए इन दोनों ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, जिसमें इंटरनेशनल इंटर एजेंसी स्टैंडिंग कमेटी एंड अर्थक्वेक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एंड रिहैबिलिटेशन अथॉरिटी, दे हैव वर्कड इन द रिकंस्ट्रक्शन फेज. ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम रिलीफ टू रिकंस्ट्रक्शन को अगर हम देखते चलें आगे, द गोल ऑफ द ERP जो अर्ली रिकवरी प्लान था, उसका क्या गोल था? वॉज टू अवॉइड द लॉस ऑफ मोमेंटम and a gap, and to support the longer-term road to reconstruction by bridging the end of the relief phase and the start of the full-scale reconstruction. So, जब relief के बाद reconstruction शुरू होती है, तो उसके दरमियान जितना भी gap था, उसको early recovery plan ने टारगेट किया और उसके मुताबिक अर्ली रिकवरी प्लान के मुताबिक उसको मिनिमाइज किया गया, उस गैप को खत्म किया गया कि रिलीफ के बाद फौरन रिकंस्ट्रक्शन के काम पे आ जाना है. द फोकस ऑफ द रिकंस्ट्रक्शन फेज shifted from saving lives to rebuilding the lives and livelihood of the affected population using the slogan build back better. So this was a slogan by the early recovery plan, or the focus of reconstruction जो phase था उसके अंदर it is shifted from saving the lives from the relief to rebuilding the lives and livelihood, खुशहाली देना लोगों को, rebuild करना लोगों के घरों को, और जितनी भी affected population थी after the disaster, they were majorly the target. The slogan was build back better, and it's a nice slogan, it according to one UN official. But should we interpret this as build back a better society or build back better infrastructure? We haven't been able to define this. We lost a common goal at some point. I am not sure when. In the rescue/relief phase, we had a common goal. In the reconstruction phase, we are very far apart without a common vision. The early recovery plan is a tool that provides a common framework, but it doesn't provide a common vision. We should have invested more time in having Pakistani policy makers and the humanitarian community agree on a common vision. So this was an advice. This was comment from the UN official as far as the slogan is concerned, which is build back better. So he said, according to him, there was a great need of a common vision also in reconstruction phase, so which was a missing link in it. Again, he also said we should have invested more time in having a Pakistan policy makers and humanitarian community agree on a common vision. Two other explanations given in interviews and focus group discussions for growing public discontent in the earthquake areas, including the public's frustration with the perceived slow pace of reconstruction and the resentment of the local politicians and the civilian administrators who felt bypassed by the army and NGO-led relief and reconstruction programs. So ये those और explanations जो थी interviews और focus group discussion से public की एक discontent का पता लगा कि जी जो reconstruction की जो effort थी that was slow. The most common cause cited for the discontent, क्या वजह थी लोगों ने इसको पसंद नहीं किया इस एफर्ट को रिकंस्ट्रक्शन की, was the ERA housing policy, जो earthquake reconstruction rehabilitation authority की housing policy थी. Respondents claimed that its financial assistance packages were inadequate. जो ERA financial assistance packages दे रहा था वो inadequate थे, and the technical standards were slow to be developed, poorly communicated, and initially too inflexible. So again, this was a criticism of the affectees, and they said that the overall reconstruction packages, the financial assistance packages under reconstruction, early reconstruction recovery plan were inadequate. Technical standards were slow to be developed. Purely, it was poorly communicated, and initially too inflexible. They were not flexible as far as the reconstruction effort is concerned. Much of the growing public discontent with reconstruction efforts were directed at the Pakistan Army, which was still perceived to be running the show, albeit from behind the thin civilian facade of ERA. So majorly जो criticism अवाम उन्नास की तरफ से था, जो कि factories की तरफ से था, marginalized community की तरफ से, वो ये था कि जी reconstruction का भी जो सारी effort है वो पाकिस्तान आर्मी इस शो को रन कर रही है, और बड़ी small number of civilians are working in ERA. So ERA should take the responsibility, or another entity, they should come and they should take the responsibility of reconstruction. While the army's role was understood and welcome during the rescue, एंड रिलीफ फेज. जो आर्मी का रोल था वो रेस्क्यू और रिलीफ फेज में, जिस तरह आपने पिछले लेक्चर में भी सुना सामीन, वो ज्यादा पसंद किया गया. But there was a lot less acceptance of the army's continued leadership role during the earthquake reconstruction phase. Relief और rescue phase के अंदर आर्मी को बहुत प्रेस किया गया, बहुत ज्यादा पसंद किया गया, लेकिन इस इतना पसंद, इतना ज्यादा इनके रोल को जस्टिफाई आर्मी ने नहीं किया, इनकी लीडरशिप ने नहीं किया इन द रिकंस्ट्रक्शन फेज. As with the national politics in general, there were growing demands for the military to put in place an exit strategy to turn responsibility for earthquake reconstruction back to the civilian administrators and local government officials. So it was a policy. They need to devise policy at that point of time so that to shift the responsibility from army towards the civilian bodies, the local governments, local bodies, and they should work in the reconstruction phase. This was another perception. One of the important decisions made shortly after the earthquake was to use the UN-led cluster approach for coordination, despite the fact that although endorsed by the heads of interagency की जो committee है, उसमें IASC member agencies, it has not been approved for implementation until 2006. जो cluster approach की बात United Nations कर रहे थे और United Nations ने उसको approach को lead भी किया, उसको start में approve नहीं किया गया, बल्कि implementation ही उसकी 2006 तक उसका अप्रूवल नहीं हुआ. That was humanitarian coordination. अब perceptions of the cluster approach, clusters की बात कर रहे हैं आप, जो कि health का cluster है, nutrition का है, safety का है, education का है. So there are other clusters too. तो जो cluster का जो approval था वो 2006 में हुआ, 2005 में जब संस्था आया. So what was the cluster approach? The cluster approach was based on the recommendation made in 2005 Humanitarian Response Review HRR commissioned by the UN Emergency Relief Coordinator to assign a global cluster leads to address assistance gaps in humanitarian relief operations. The more focused was from Humanitarian Response Review का कि clusters को form कर दिया जाए, clusters को बना दिया जाए और उस clusters को they should lead to assess the gap, so to direct to target a gap on humanitarian relief operations. के बाद जब reconstruction का शुरू हुआ तो उस दौरान clusters की formation हुई. In September 2005, the IASC endorsed a proposal to assign different UN agencies to lead an initial 9 sectoral or thematic clusters that would be responsible for identifying and filling assistance gaps in humanitarian response operations, as well as for being the provider of the last resort. So UN agencies ने 2005 September 2005 में they designed a proposal, and it was based on initial 9 sectoral or thematic clusters, और उनकी base पे they started giving assistance, and they started fulfilling assistance gaps in humanitarian response operations. On October 9, the day after the earthquake, United Nations Disaster Assessment Coordination UNDAC team in Islamabad issued its first situation report using a format based on HRR proposed clusters. This was followed a few days later by a flash appeal for funding that was also organized into the HRR clusters. According to one first-hand account, these initial ad hoc decisions had made ramifications on the subsequent earthquake response. जो पहला फर्स्ट हैंड अकाउंट था और उसमें ad hoc decisions had made major ramifications on the subsequent earthquake response. Or firstly, a new and experimental approach would be used for what was quickly becoming a larger and more complex humanitarian response. Lead agencies had neither trained their cluster coordinators nor budgeted for the positions. Agencies had little institutional knowledge of the structures, and basic institutional knowledge and basic tools such as the terms of reference and the guidelines simply did not exist. Cluster created first for the site rep and then for the flash appeal now made a permanent mark on the relief operation. The clusters were formalized, leaders appointed, and coordination structure and mechanisms were put in place. So this was again ramifications on the subsequent earthquake response, and they were basically this was a view, and firstly it was a new experimental approach. The people were not trained, clusters coordinators, and plus the skills were not present at that point of time. The tools were not there. For example, the terms of reference and guidelines were not there to operate on the cluster. Or the clusters were formalized, leaders were appointed, and the coordination structures and mechanisms were put in place. Shortly after the adoption of the cluster approach in Islamabad, clusters were established in the 4 humanitarian hubs. These field-based clusters soon become the center for operational coordination in earthquake-affected areas. तो ये clusters जो इस्लामाबाद में 4 अदद बनाए गए और उनमें humanitarian hubs के नाम से इनको दिया गया, इनको नाम दिया गया, ये सेंटर फॉर ऑपरेशनल कोऑर्डिनेशन में शिफ्ट हो गए इन द अर्थक्वेक अफेक्टेड एरियाज. While there were a number of criticisms of how the cluster approach functioned, बहुत ज्यादा निकात परस्ती हुई, बहुत ज्यादा क्रिटिसिज्म हुआ, और ज्यादातर क्रिटिसिज्म जो था वो इस बात पे हुआ कि जो क्लस्टर अप्रोच है इसकी फंक्शनिंग क्या है. It is important to note that overall it was generally perceived to have worked better than previous humanitarian emergency coordination mechanisms. तो बिलीव ये किया जा रहा था कि ये रिकंस्ट्रक्शन फेज उससे बेहतर, रिलीफ ऑपरेशन से बेहतर काम करेगी, और ये क्लस्टर अप्रोच जो है इसके खदोखाल बहुत बेहतर होंगे देन प्रीवियस ह्यूमैनिटेरियन इमरजेंसी कोऑर्डिनेशन मैकेनिज्म्स. ज्यादा क्रिटिसिज्म ऑन क्लस्टर अप्रोच दैट वर मेंशन्ड इन इंटरव्यूज फॉर दिस स्टडी वाज आल्सो नोटेड इन IASC रियल टाइम इवैल्यूएशन ऑफ द क्लस्टर्स अप्रोच कंडक्टेड इन फरवरी 2006. फरवरी 2006 में IASC ने रियल टाइम एवेल्युएशन की, ऑन द ग्राउंड रियलिटी को चेक किया और इंटरव्यूज किए गए, एंड एन एक्शन एड असेसमेंट फॉर क्लस्टर अप्रोच कंडक्टेड इन फरवरी एंड मार्च 2006. तो 2006 के मार्च में और फरवरी मार्च में क्लस्टर्स ने जो है वो असेसमेंट, जो IASC की असेसमेंट थी और एक्शन एड की जो असेसमेंट थी वो सामने आई. मेजरली क्लस्टर्स क्या होते हैं? They were health was considered as first cluster, food and nutrition. There were 9 clusters. Second is food and nutrition, water and sanitation, logistics, camp management, emergency shelter, emergency telecommunications, protection of vulnerable groups, and early recovery. So there were 9, and the 10th one was the education given to the earthquake affectees. Lack of clarity about the cluster. People were not known about the cluster. Even though officials, the people working in the area were not known what is the cluster approach. Confusion and lack of clarity about the cluster approach, given that the cluster approach was not intended to implement it until 2006. And that it was pilot tested in an extremely complex and large-scale humanitarian response to a devastating natural disaster. It is not surprising that it generated considerable confusion and raised many questions. So 2006 तक जो रिलीफ का इतना significant काम हुआ, इतनी बड़ी humanitarian response हुआ, people were very much confused and they were not clear about what is this cluster approach, how it is functioning. And people started putting fingers on the confused approach of the clusters. Again, the functioning of cluster में आप देखें कि they were not clear about the terms of reference, they were not clear about the guidelines, and no terms of reference existed initially, so there was a lack of clarity about the role of the clusters and the responsibilities of the cluster leads. कि जो cluster को lead करेगा, health का cluster कौन lead करेगा, उसकी क्या responsibility होगी, न्यूट्रिशन का cluster है कौन, emergency management कौन करेगा, camp management कौन करेगा, उसका कौन lead होगा, उसकी क्या functioning होगी. The IASC evaluation noted that few people were able to differentiate between the cluster approach and traditional sector approach, and was described by some as old wine in new bottles. So this was again IASC evaluation, and they noted that the few people were able to differentiate between the cluster approach and traditional approach. And they described it as simply as old wine in new. सा पुराना काम है, नया नाम दे दिया गया. IASC evaluation also noted that the raison d'etre of the cluster approach to fill gaps were well not understood, and that as a result some clusters were established where no gap existed. Cluster उस जगह पे establish कर दिए गए जहां पे कोई gap नहीं था. So that other gaps, notably assisting internally displaced peoples in the spontaneous camps, remain unfilled. अब टारगेट उस जगह को कर दिया गया जहां पे जरूरत नहीं थी क्लस्टर्स की, और जहां पे जरूरत थी वो अनफिल्ड रही. वो आईडीपीज जहां पे थे, कैंप मैनेजमेंट जहां पे थी, बेसिकली स्पॉन्टेनियस कैंप्स थे, वहां पे असेस नहीं किया गया. A finding of the clusters evaluation that was reiterated by the interviewees for this study was that cross-cutting issues of the gender, environment and human rights had fallen between the cracks. So they were failure to prioritize cross-cutting issues like gender ka issue, environment ka issue, human rights ke issues, and they were falling between the cracks. तो वीक इंफॉर्मेशन मैनेजमेंट थी, एंड गैप एनालिसिस भी अगर आप देखें तो वो भी नहीं प्रॉपर्ली किया गया. द weakness of information management and gap analysis has been a common finding of most assessments of the earthquake response. And according to IASC evaluation, overall the information management in this crisis response received low marks. जो इंफॉर्मेशन मैनेजमेंट थी इस रिकंस्ट्रक्शन के दौरान, क्राइसिस रिस्पॉन्स के दौरान, और उनको लो मार्क्स दिए गए. The apparent disconnect between the field hubs and Islamabad was exemplified by a lack of standardization, interoperable and verifiable data. So they were lacking in lots of other approaches. Weak donor participation and support in the reconstruction phase. Donor participation in the clusters were reported to be weak. ये जितने भी क्लस्टर्स आपके सामने पहले आए 9 और 10 क्लस्टर्स, तो इसमें डोनर्स की पार्टिसिपेशन बहुत वीक थी. IASC evaluation also noted that the lack of clarity on how the clusters linked to donor groups like G7, जो Great 7 countries हैं, on international financial institutions, it was the lack of clarity, it was not clear कि किस तरीके से डोनर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ इन क्लस्टर्स को लिंक किया जाए, इनको आपस में किस तरीके से जोड़ा जाए, सो दैट कि फंडिंग रिसीव हो और रिकंस्ट्रक्शन के काम को बेहतर तरीके से अंजाम दिया जाए. और इसमें सिर्फ G7 जो ग्रेट 7 कंट्रीज हैं वो और इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस के साथ किस तरीके से क्लस्टर्स को लिंक किया जाए सो दैट डोनेशंस को जमा किया जाए. एक यूएन ऑफिशियल के मुताबिक USG फॉर्मली इंडोर्स द क्लस्टर अप्रोच, but informally it is anti-cluster. A US official believed that the negative attitude of many colleagues was because US groups have an immediate prejudice against the UN. So this was again a prejudice against the United Nations. Several respondents, especially from non-government sector organizations, were concerned that a cluster approach had created a thick layer of additional bureaucracy whose benefits were often not clear. So एक अनदर अप्रोच जो क्लस्टर अप्रोच के बारे में क्रिटिसिज्म रिस्पोंडेंट की तरफ से था वो ये था कि जी कोई एडिशनल ब्यूरोक्रेसी जो है थिक लेयर बना दी गई है, एंड जिसके बेनिफिट्स भी दे आर नॉट क्लियर अबाउट. इन पर्टिकुलर दे कंप्लेन्ड अबाउट द लार्ज नंबर ऑफ क्लस्टर मीटिंग्स which were often poorly chaired and few tangible outputs. तो जितनी भी क्लस्टर मीटिंग्स थी उनके बारे में ये कंप्लेन भी कर दी गई कि ये पुअरली चेयर्ड हुई हैं, मिसलेड हुई हैं, और फ्यू कुछ आउटपुट्स आई हैं इन द टेंजिबल फॉर्म. एक INGO इंटरनेशनल नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के डायरेक्टर के मुताबिक ही रेफर टू द लार्ज अमाउंट नंबर ऑफ द क्लस्टर मीटिंग एज कोऑर्डिनेशन रन रैम्पेंट, while the IASC report quoted as a respondent's concern that unchecked the cluster approach risked becoming a cluster monster. So in the again reconstruction phase पे आपने देखा कोई इसको कोऑर्डिनेशन रन रैम्पेंट के नाम से क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है, कोई इसको क्लस्टर मॉन्स्टर के नाम से क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है. तो इट वाज मिसलेड, इट वाज नॉट चेयर्ड प्रॉपर्ली. और IASC की भी रिपोर्ट है, इंटरनेशनल नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के भी डायरेक्टर ने अपना कोट दी थी. तो वीक क्लस्टर लीडरशिप वाज देयर. लीडरशिप जो क्लस्टर्स की थी, न्यूट्रिशन की जैसे है, हेल्थ की है. मैंने 4 सदा में खुद जाके विजिट किया तो मैंने वहां पे ऑब्जर्व किया कि वहां पे रिकंस्ट्रक्शन का काम बहुत स्लो था, बहुत वीक था. बहुत सी नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इंटरनेशनल नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ऑल्दो दे हैव वर्कड इन द रिलीफ ऑपरेशंस, बट एज फार एज रिकंस्ट्रक्शन इज कंसर्न्ड दे वर वेरी स्लो, दे वर वेरी वीक. एंड क्लस्टर अप्रोच को अगर आप देखें तो उनके लीडर्स भी जो थे दे वर नॉट दैट मच इक्विप्ड, दे वर जस्ट ओवर देयर not on the basis of expertise, and concerns were raised about the capability and capacity of some agencies as well as individuals who were leading clusters at that point of time. Ek donor who emphasized that the need to ensure flexibility in assigning clusters, lead agencies based on the relative strengths and capacities of agencies in each specific context. The main issue was who should run the clusters. They should have made some better decisions. For example, IUM जो है, जो organization Islamabad में exist करती, was not the right agency to run the shelter cluster. Again, IUM जो organization है, that was not the right organization to run the cluster. This was again एक donor का emphasization थी. He emphasized that IUM was not the right agency to run the shelter cluster. It should be governed by another agency. Cluster leads confusion between the agency role and the cluster role. United Nations का role और cluster के role के दरमियान confusion शुरू होगी. Several of the United Nations cluster lead reportedly had trouble stepping out of their institutional hats. In some cases, this was because cluster leads a confusion between the role of the agency and the role of the cluster. And it leads also the difficulty in confusing tasks of simultaneously fulfilling both agency responsibilities as well as their cluster responsibility. So there was no streamlined mechanism, there was no outline defined in the agency responsibilities and in the cluster responsibilities. As far as the views from International Non-Government Organization Director, UN lead agencies could not distinguish between their agency role and their head of the cluster role. This led to the confusion about both internally and externally. Cluster leadership needs to be neutral, not promoting agency agendas. So, clusters जो बनाए गए हैं, उनको neutral होना चाहिए था, ना कि वो अपनी एजेंसी के एजेंडास को प्रमोट करते in the reconstruction phase. एक UN official के view के मुताबिक, UNICEF was the lead of the protection cluster, but for the first 3 months was only interested in child protection. So many NGOs quit in frustration. तो यूनाइटेड नेशंस का जो यूनिसेफ है, यूनिसेफ जो पहले 3 महीने थे, they were more interested in children protection rather than protection of the cluster. तो NGOs जो थी, they get frustrated and they quit it. उन्होंने ये वो जो ऑपरेशन था रिकंस्ट्रक्शन का, उससे क्विट कर गए. Many respondents, especially government officials, cited the high turnover rate of the cluster members in general and cluster leads in particular as an important factor undermining the effectiveness of the clusters. So, बहुत से respondents हैं, they were of the view that के turnover rate जो है, organizations clusters को छोड़ने का जो rate है, employees का वो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया था, और important factor जो था वो effectiveness नहीं थी cluster की, इसकी वजह से जो important factor था उसको undermine कर दिया गया, और high turnover rate of the cluster को जो था that was witnessed. According to the Action Aid study, published only few months after the earthquake, in Mansehra there were 4 changes to OCHA cluster heads, 8 to the heads of the security cluster, and 5 to the UNICEF cluster lead. So over here you are also witnessing that के लोग छोड़ के जा रहे थे cluster, 5 जो थे उसमें UNICEF cluster के 8 to the head of the security cluster and 5 to the UNICEF cluster led. So there was a problem transitioning from the UN-led cluster approach to a government of Pakistan-led coordination. A problem with the cluster approach identified in several interviews was the inadequate preparation for developing a sectoral thematic coordination system to replace the clusters when they were phased out between April to June 2006. So there was a great demand for developing a sectoral thematic coordination system between the government of Pakistan-led clusters along with the UN agency-led clusters. So it was leading towards a major problem. According to one senior UN official, the cluster system was dissolved without being replaced with anything else. This was a disaster. This is when lots of the ERA policies started popping up, unchecked and undiscussed. In the May and July, we saw lots of nonsense, in part because there was no cluster system to vet policies and no mechanisms to say no to ERA. So when the ERA intervened, justice system was dissolved. और ERA की policies चूंकि clear नहीं थी, so it was unchecked and undiscussed. In May and July, we saw lots of nonsense, in part because there were no cluster system to vet policies and no mechanisms to say no to earthquake reconstruction and rehabilitation authority. So it was inadequate capacity of ERA. Some identified the problem as inadequate ERA capacity to lead sectoral/thematic coordination following the phase out of the clusters. However, a more fundamental problem identified by one UN official as to why ERA could not effectively replace the UN-led clusters was due to the lack of trust between the government of Pakistan, army, and civil society in Pakistan. A political reality, complications mostly overlooked by the international humanitarian community. The major reason of the failure of these clusters and the inadequate capacity of ERA was the lack of trust between government of Pakistan/army and civil society in Pakistan, which is a political reality, which is a harsh reality, and this lead to a major problem. This is a picture of that area where disaster has hit, and now we are seeing that the people are moving back towards their homes, and this is the reconstruction effort which has started. They are going back, and over there from where these people belong, basically ERA constructed a shelter type home over there with CGI sheets and other mechanism. And these people look at the winter, look at the snow over here. It's very hard to go and it's very hard to walk on it. But these people are prone to these seasons, and आप देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे 2-3 बोरियां उठा के ये लोग जो हैं ये अपने शेल्टर्स की तरफ या अपने अर्थक्वेक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन रिहेबिलिटेशन की अथॉरिटी के बनाए करता जो घर हैं उनकी तरफ they are moving. Again, we are talking about the universality of humanitarianism. The perceived universality of humanitarian principles and action was greater in Pakistan earthquake response than in most of the other humanitarian agenda 2015 case studies, where the humanitarian enterprise was perceived to be fundamentally northern in values, appearance, and behavior. So Pakistan's जो agenda Pakistan में था, that was a total different case study as far as the rest of the case studies were concerned, जो कि 12 ममालिक में ये रिसर्च हुई है humanitarian agenda 2015 पे, और जो पाकिस्तान में था, it was perceived to fundamentally northern in values, appearance, and behavior. Total फर्क था as compared to the rest of the countries जहाँ पे ये policy implement हुई है. After the earthquake, in the immediate aftermath of the earthquake, Pakistani citizens were the first to respond, and thousands of the volunteers rushing to rescue and assist survivors in the affected areas of where earthquake has hit NWFP and Pakistan, as well as from a collapsed high-rise apartment building, which was Magla Tower in Islamabad. I worked over there as volunteer in the rescue operation, and उसमें ये देखा गया कि Pakistani citizens were the first to reach to site, and they worked diligently over there, and they worked for the rescue. They left their homes in order to provide rescue services, and volunteers were witness over there in the area which were hit by the disaster, earthquake disaster, and that was majorly NWFP and other areas of Pakistan. Relief efforts जो कि हमने last lecture में भी discuss की, यहाँ पे भी discuss कर रहे हैं. Truck load after truck load of relief supplies donated by Pakistanis throughout the country soon started arriving in the areas devastated by the earthquakes. और आपने ट्रैफिक जैम्स भी विजिट किए, देखे, विटनेस किए, तो ट्रक लोड आफ्टर ट्रक लोड्स ऑफ रेस्क्यू सप्लाईज जो थी, रिलीफ की चीजें जो थी, वो पहुंचना शुरू होगी, और मोस्टली इट वाज पाकिस्तानी सिटीजंस हु हेल्प्ड इन द टाइम ऑफ द नीड. First organization which reported, the first organization to respond in the immediate aftermath of the earthquake was also mostly national, not international. National organization थी जो कि पाकिस्तान में जिसने रिपोर्ट किया, further strengthening the perception that the humanitarian response to the earthquake was not a Western or Northern-led enterprise. It was not one enterprise job, or it was not Western job. It is not Northern job. उन्होंने आके ये बताया कि it is a job of Pakistani people, this is the job of soon after the earthquake, the only organizations, the initial organizations which came over here was first the jihadi militant groups on United Nations and US State Department list of the banned terrorist organizations, local community-based organizations, local CBOs and NGOs, and Pakistan Army, who were joined by the few international NGOs already working in the area at the time of the earthquake. So these were the certain Islamist organizations who were banned by the United Nations and US Department of Defense, local community-based organizations, the non-government organizations, Pakistan Army along with the international non-government organizations, they started working on the affected areas. Even following the arrival of the numerous international civilian and military rescue and relief teams and international aid agencies, the nearly unanimous perception communicated in focus group was that these civilians and military organizations were there to assist in rescue and relief efforts rather than to promote hidden agendas. So this was again a perception of the people when the focus group discussions were done during when the research was conducted in that area. Unanimous, they were having a view that it was communicated through focus group that civilians and military organizations were there to assist in the rescue phase and relief phase, but they are not there to promote the hidden agendas. As one senior international aid official noted that the principle of the relief is universal, but motivation differ from the military religious to the militancy secular. In a place like Kohistan, district of NWFP, the people don't distinguish between a Christian organization perceived to be pushing a religious agenda and secular organization pushing a women's rights agenda. A radical Islamic group agendas would be more accepted in Kohistan than a secular agenda. So this is the story of the Kohistan, which is the part of NWFP, which is a district of NWA. It was witnessed that the people, they don't distinguish between a Christian organization agendas and secular women rights, secular organization agendas. They are more interested to have a radical Islamic group agenda, and this was noted by international aid official. The mostly a radical Islamic group agendas would be more acceptable in Kohistan than a secular agenda. Views from the several interviewees also pointed out that the more than the earthquake response shifted from the immediate life-saving rescue and relief efforts to the medium to long-term reconstruction programs, the more the consensus around the universality of humanitarian action which broke down. So there were several interviewees who were of the view that अब relief से reconstruction की तरफ effort shift हो गई है, and it's a more longer term approach. और universality consensus ये देखा गया कि universality of humanitarian action जो था it broke down. An aid official described this process as follows: issues and differences get highlighted more as time goes on. In the immediacy of the earthquake, people took help from anyone. The humanitarian impulses came first, but then other factors included political ones played a role. So reconstruction की बात हो रही है. Issues and differences were there. They were highlighted by the people in the report. It is written over there. The humanitarian impulses came first, but then other factors, which उसमें politics भी involve हो गई, उसमें other जो inadequate capacity of era है, वो भी that played their role. Then, as far as the perceptions of the humanitarian actions and actors are concerned, a very striking characteristic of the focus group discussions with earthquake survivors was the extent to which they perceived the international aid agencies during the initial rescue and relief phase to be there for humanitarian reasons rather than to promote political, religious and other hidden agendas. So again, people were having this perception that humanitarian organizations were initially, they were doing good in the initial rescue and relief operation, but they were there for the humanitarian reasons, but not for the to promote the political, religious or any other hidden agenda of these organizations. A focus group member in the devastated town of Balakot said, foreign agencies remained completely neutral and impartial. They just came to aid humanity they didn't engage in religion, political and ethnicity. So focus group member, जब focus group discussion बालाकोट में हो रही थी, तो उसने एक member ने ये कहा कि foreign agencies, they remain completely neutral, they have worked their job neutrally and impartial, they just came to aid humanity, वो सिर्फ हमारी मदद के लिए आए हैं, and they are not engaged in religion, politics or any other, they are not promoting any other hidden agenda or ethnicity. One resident of Muzaffarabad, he was of the view that the international military response was perceived as humanitarian. People said farewell to the US Army with flowers. They had no political agenda. So this was from people from Muzaffarabad, and they were of the view that that United States Army was there for the humanitarian purpose, and when they were going back, they were flying back towards the country. हमने उनको flowers दिए, and उनका कोई political agenda नहीं था. In one interview with the Maulana in Mansehra, the reputation of foreigners in this area is much better after the earthquake. The foreign agencies were not all involved in promoting political or religious agendas. Nearly everyone thinks that whatever NGOs did, whether lots or little, was done for humanitarian reasons. No foreigners were involved in other activities. Of the 30,000 people here, you won't find one who tried to convert. People will criticize how the distribution was done, that some got more than others, but they did not criticize, they had agendas. और ये एक मौलाना साहब जो है मानसेरा में, उनके इंटरव्यू के मुताबिक जितनी भी फॉरेन एजेंसीज थी, they were there to provide assistance, to provide help, to provide the humanitarian response towards the people who were affected by the disaster. And 30,000 के करीब लोग जो थे उस एरिया में मुकीम थे मानसेरा में, और they were also of the view that distribution के अंदर थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हुआ, लेकिन overall they were not having any hidden agendas. According to one international non-government organization manager, relations between the government and NGOs have improved dramatically after the earthquake of 2005. There is now a much better understanding of NGOs. Now people are they have the understanding of the NGOs. Plus, he also said this has led to a general change of attitude that is not just earthquake specific. So now the people's attitude have changed when there was a collaboration between NGO and government of Pakistan. And this was basically this was a comment by international non-government organization manager, who were of the view that relationship between the government and NGOs have improved dramatically, and now they are more prone to the NGOs, and they are not only earthquake specific, they are working on other disasters too. So policy perception is that the national and international aid agencies were motivated by humanitarian objectives rather than hidden agendas. That does not mean that there were no criticism of these agencies. ठीक है, positive perspective ये था कि they have worked on the humanitarian purpose, they were over here for the humanitarian job or humanitarian objective के लिए थे, लेकिन ये भी criticism था कि शायद there are certain hidden agendas. Or then hidden agenda does not mean that there were no criticism on the agencies, or वो criticism फिर भी agencies पे हुआ. Many focus group members criticized the relief money being wasted on expensive four-wheel drive vehicles, high rents and high staff salaries, and that they are making lots of money off us. So again, those people who were the part of focus group discussion at that point of time, they were criticizing the relief money, and they were saying it was all wasted. They are utilizing expensive four-drive vehicles. They are giving heavy rents. Equally, they are having high staff salaries. So they are misutilizing our money and into lots other activities which are not that much important. According to one international non-government organization director, we are hearing more about people getting upset over NGOs in the reconstruction phase. हम लोग ये महसूस कर रहे हैं, हम लोग ये सुन रहे हैं कि लोग जो हैं वो they are getting upset over NGOs जब reconstruction phase शुरू हुआ. We are seeing it in the increase in the security incidents. As NGO move from the relief distributions to the softer side of the development, their reputation will fade away and problems will increase. और जाहिर बात है जिस वक्त NGO रिलीफ ऑपरेशन से अपने को रिकंस्ट्रक्शन ऑपरेशन पे शिफ्ट करेगी तो उनकी डेवलपमेंट साइड पे जो कि एक सॉफ्टवेयर टॉपिक है डेवलपमेंट का, उनकी रेपुटेशन थोड़ी सी फेड होगी और प्रॉब्लम्स इंक्रीज होंगी. There was a comment from Pakistani NGO official that most INGOs, international non-government organizations, had a good reputation among people because they did relief. Now they are gone. We are left to do development. So people are less happy with us. People start their conversations with what will you give us? People still want relief. अभी भी लोग जो हैं वो relief demand कर रहे हैं. Negative perceptions of reconstruction efforts continue to replace the positive perceptions of aid agencies created during the relief phase, rescue phase. It is likely that significant improvement in the reputation of aid agencies in the earthquake area will prove to have been relatively short-lived. जो अच्छा काम था aid agencies का वो एक खास महदूद मुद्दत तक का था, वो एक लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए नहीं था. और रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एफर्ट जब से स्टार्ट हुई है तो उनका जितनी भी मेहनत थी वो पेव्ड आउट हो गई, वो खत्म हो गई और नेगेटिव परसेप्शन जो थी वो ऊपर आ गई और पॉजिटिव परसेप्शन जो थी उन सारी एड एजेंसीज के बारे में वो लोगों की खत्म हो गई. As far as the culture in sensitivity is concerned, closely related to the issue of the perception of the aid agencies is the perception of the culture sensitivity of the aid worker. जो मुलाजमीन जो NGO workers जो बाहर से आए और उन्होंने यहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के लोगों ने यहाँ पे काम किया, उनके बारे में लोगों की परसेप्शंस क्या थी. विद द फ्यू नोटेबल एक्सेप्शंस, इंटरनेशनल एड workers were given high marks for culture sensitivity in focus group discussion in earthquake affected communities. They said that all were there not to develop or not to impart their own culture, but they were least bothered about the culture of their own, and they were more focused on the Pakistani culture, and they worked according to the Pakistani culture. According to one religious leader in a conservative area of NWFP, most foreigners try to adapt to our local culture. Many of the international women dress more modernly than the Pakistani girls. The world is a global village and everyone watches television. The dress of the foreigners is now less of an issue. It is no longer looks so shocking. So this was a view from a religious leader, so from a conservative area of NWFP, and more were focused that most foreigners, they try to adapt to a Pakistani culture, or the world is a global village and everyone watches television. The dress of foreigners is no less of an issue. It is no longer shocking. A Pakistani NGO worker commented, I visited an INGO in June. 3 expat women were wrapped in scarf, dupatta and shawl. Despite it being very hot, they were being more local than the locals. So again, they were international, an NGO worker. She visited an international non-government organization in June, and she saw 3 expat women working, were wrapped in scarf, dupatta, which is head covering in Pakistani society, and shawl. Despite it was very hot, they were being more locals than the locals. वो ज़्यादा locals लग रहे थे, हालांकि जो locals है वो इतने locals नहीं लग रहे थे, लेकिन वो ज़्यादा locals लग रहे थे. According to an Islamic organization official, all NGOs were very sensitive to local culture except the Cubans. The Cubans were very carefree, but people didn't pay any attention to what they were wearing. They played badminton, but no one said a word. When the Cubans closed their camps, a large percentage of Muzaffarabad came to say goodbye to those all Cuban doctors. मैंने आपको last lectures में भी example दी. एक Cuban doctor 3 घंटे तक एक injured बच्ची को उठा के रोड की तलाश में भागती रही और at the end उसने उसको अस्पताल बचाया. तो लोग इस चीज़ पे बहुत खुश थे उनसे. लोगों को नहीं परवाह थी कि वो कौन से हुलिये में बैडमिंटन खेल रहे हैं या वो क्या कर रहे हैं. They enjoyed over there or not. But when the Cubans doctors, when they closed their camp, a large percentage of Muzaffarabad people, they came to say goodbye to the Cuban doctors. And another international non-government organization manager described the challenge of formulating policies that balance individual and organization rights and interests, and he was of the view that we had several problems with interactions between male and female staff, and it was very hard for us to come with a policy that males and females on our compound cannot interact. So it was an issue highlighted by international non-government organization manager. But थोड़ा सा ये मैं बताता चलूं, क्योंकि पाकिस्तानी सोसाइटी के अंदर इस्लामिक concept of similarity follow होता है, तो it was a bit hard for the INGO workers to go and talk to the women community freely. और उसके लिए जब आप NGO नॉन प्रॉफिट सेक्टर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम कर रहे होंगे, तो आप यकीनन अपने साथ वुमेन स्टाफ को रखें जो कि इंगेज हो कम्युनिटी को डेवलप करने के लिए, जो कि उनके घरों में जाएं और फीमेल से विदाउट एनी बैरियर बात कर सकें. अगर मेल्स हैं तो मेल्स जाएं और वो मसाजिद में फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कशंस भी इनिशिएट कर सकते हैं. वो उनके घरों में जाके भी फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कशंस एक मोहल्ले के अंदर सेपरेट जगह बना के भी कर सकते हैं. तो ज्यादातर ये प्रॉब्लम्स तब आते हैं इंटरेक्शंस के जब आप किसी मेल को फीमेल की तरफ भेजेंगे ऐसे कल्चर के अंदर विच इज अ कल्चर सेंसिटिव कंट्री, और इट्स वेरी हार्ड फॉर देम टू डिवाइस अ पॉलिसी हाउ टू डील विद द फीमेल अफेक्टीज, और किस तरीके से वो अपने प्रोसीजर्स को अप्रोच करें कि वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा काम कर सकें, और किस तरह इंटरेक्शन को बिटवीन द फीमेल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स ऑफ एनजीओ और मेल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स ऑफ एनजीओ एंड बिटवीन द अर्थक्वेक अफेक्टीज, इसको चीज को चेक किया जाए. So insiders and outsiders and locals with locals, one of the interesting findings to emerge from the interviews and focus group discussions conducted for this study was to the extent to which Pakistani respondents in particular, but also many international respondents believed that the major cultural sensitivity issue resulted from the behavior of the national staff rather than international staff. So it was also witnessed that it was not foreigners who worked in Pakistan, it was not international staff, but culture sensitive issue was majorly created by the national staff rather than the international staff. So insiders and outsiders and locals within locals. So again, it was an interesting finding that national staff was involved in such activities, और उसकी वजह से तोहमत जो है वो इंटरनेशनल स्टाफ भी लग गई. International non-government organization manager view, according to him, who was working in NWFP district of Battagram, a conservative district of Battagram, mullahs have fewer problems with expat women. They are much more worried about Pakistani women not dressing properly and interacting with the local women and showing how liberal they are. So this was an international non-government organization manager who was working in the conservative NWFP district of Battagram, and he was of the view that mullahs have fewer problem with expatriate women, and they are much more worried about the Pakistani women not dressing properly and interacting with them, और बताना उनको कि शो ये करेंगे इंटरनेशनल स्टाफ फीमेल स्टाफ के हम कितने लिबरल हैं, हम लोग कितने आज़ाद हैं. तो this was a perception, this was by mullahs, and they created fewer problems. An INGO manager cited the following example: we hired some Pakistani nurses who in the evenings were dancing in their living quarters in the IDP camps. We had to terminate them. It was difficult for us to tell them to cover their heads. They resisted. They felt that they were Pakistanis in Pakistan and could do what they wanted. So this was again dilemma in the country that one should be, किसी को कोई जॉब असाइन की जाए तो उसको diligently अंजाम दे. प्लस थोड़ा सा ये समझना भी जरूरी था कि आईडीपी कैंप जो है दैट वाज नॉट लिविंग क्वार्टर. अगर उसके साथ लिविंग क्वार्टर है तो उसमें आपको ये चीज का ख्याल रखना चाहिए था कि इस तरह की कोई ऐसी हरकत ना करें जिसपे कल्चर जो है वो बैरियर फेस हो इंटरनेशनल नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को. और इस तरह थोड़ा सा ये ऑड भी लगता है, थोड़ा सा ये एक हमारा वीकेस्ट लिंक है कि पीपल ओवर हियर दे फेल्ट दैट व्हाटएवर दे आर डूइंग इज राइट, बट नॉट अकॉर्डिंग टू एवरी कल्चर. हर 10 किलोमीटर के बाद जबान तब्दील हो जाती है, हर 10 किलोमीटर के बाद कल्चर के अंदर भी चेंज आती है. So every culture is different. So whenever you maneuver in that area where there is a problem which is a conservative area, then you need to be in limits. You need to define the boundaries. Pakistani director described the problem he faced when he requested his national staff, especially the women, to be more culturally sensitive in the conservative earthquake areas. एक पाकिस्तानी डायरेक्टर ने जिस वक्त वुमेन को कहा, अपने नेशनल स्टाफ को कहा कि आप कल्चरल सेंसिटिव एरियाज में काम कर रहे हैं, अर्थक्वेक इफेक्टिव एरियाज में, और उनको ये बताया during working. We cracked down on our Mansehra office, but our strong female leadership was opposed. They said we are reinforcing conservatism, and that their behavior was not about promoting a Western agenda, it is all about Pakistani rights. So again, this was a description given by a Pakistani director. One INGO manager described this problem of having to manage locals within locals was 98% of our staff are from other areas of Pakistan. Our national staff are not viewed by locals as local staff, and the national staff distinguish themselves from what they refer to as a local staff. Most national staff do not speak Pashto. It is a case of having locals within locals. So the major problem was language. The major problem was the staff was the area in Pakistan was viewed as they were going as Pakistani, and they can easily be adopted to the area which is of highly culture sensitive. But mostly they were of the view that we are Pakistani, and according to Pakistani rights, we are working in the area. According to another NGO manager, Pakistan staff assumes and say that we are all the same, whereas Kashmiris view themselves as different. Many Pakistani staff were not aware of these tensions and sentiments. We need to educate about national staff and not just expatriates about these issues. So major problem was not with the expatriates, not with the international workers. It was more related to the national staff. They need to be taught. They need to be taught that what is the culture in that area. What are the कौन सी जात के लोग रहते हैं वहाँ पे, कौन से कबीले के लोग रहते हैं, वो कौन सी जबान बोलते हैं, और एनजीओ वर्कर्स को उसी लिहाज से ट्रेन करना चाहिए था. अब it is easy for Pashtun to go and work in that area where Pashto is the language. Their language, their mother tongue. It is very difficult for those areas, those people, and especially in those conservative areas, उनके लिए काम करना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है जब वो उधर जाके अपनी ज़बान जो है उर्दू में बात करते हैं. हालांकि वो लोग पश्तो में मोस्टली बात करते हैं, and although they understand Urdu, but this was again a barrier in the working. According to one NGO worker, staff from NWFE cause a lot of problems in AJK. They bring in their conservatism. 2 of our female staff wore veils, burqa पहन लिया उन्होंने, which made local female staff think that they have to wear the veils. जो NWFE से staff आया, वो उनके कल्चर के हिसाब से थोड़ा सा वेल्स पहनते थे, तो जिसकी वजह से फीमेल स्टाफ जो थी उनको भी उन्होंने मजबूर किया कि वो भी वेल पहने. Kashmiri culture is very different from NWFP culture. NGOs have failed to adequately recognize this. So NGOs which were coming from NWFP, they failed to recognize the culture of Kashmir. Kashmir has got different culture altogether, and if we talk about NWFP has got its own culture there. According to one INGO director, we are using Punjabis and Pathans and treat them as locals in AJK, Azad Jammu Kashmir, but they are not. They are not locals. AJK staff view themselves as different than Pakistani staff. They are not all the same. Already in Azad Jammu Kashmir, there has been a huge influx of outsiders when you could hire Kashmiri staff. So they were also of the view that Kashmiri staff should be hired for the Kashmir, Azad Jammu Kashmir. Same is the case with NWFP. Only NWFP staff should be there. So the people who were there, the Punjabis and rest of Pathans, they were not known, they were not prone to the culture sensitivity of the area. And for that, they were of the view that one should be hiring Azad Jammu Kashmir Kashmir people in their respective organizations so that they work in the face. Today we have discussed about lots of issues regarding the post-earthquake study, regarding the study which is Perceptions of Humanitarian Agenda 2015, और उसके अंदर हमने universality, coherence, terrorism and counter-terrorism and security, जिसकी बेस पे ये पूरी रिसर्च कंडक्ट हुई, और केस ऑफ पाकिस्तान स्टडी के बारे में ये काम हुआ, और अर्थक्वेक का रिस्पॉन्स लोगों के मुताबिक क्या था, एनजीओ वर्कर्स के मुताबिक क्या था, आईएनजीओ वर्कर्स के मुताबिक क्या था, और हमने ये भी स्टडी किया कि वो कौन कौन से ऐसे मुश्किल मराहल थे जिसमें एक्सपेट्रिएट्स ने काम किया, और वो कौन कौन से ऐसे लोग थे जैसे क्यूबन डॉक्टर्स की एग्जांपल दी गई कि उन लोगों ने काम किया और उन लोगों को कितना वार्म गुड बाय किया मुजफ्फराबाद के लोगों ने। इसी तरह बहुत से जो कंजर्वेटिव एरियाज थे उनकी राय डिफरेंट थी, जो एरियाज जो थे who are more लिबरल तो उनकी राय डिफरेंट थी। हर एक कल्चर की सेंसिटिविटी, हर एक कल्चर के खदोखाल डिफरेंट होते हैं। और today's I am going to, in the nutshell, I am going to conclude that despite the growing recognition that many of the problems related to perceived culture and insensitivity resulted from the behavior of national staff, it was just because of the national staff who made a major trouble. Rather than the international staff who were expatriates, who were outside. They were more prone to the culture. They studied the culture, then they came over here in Pakistan and they worked for the disaster affected areas, and who in most cases were not local staff. जैसे कि पश्तून और पंजाबी को उठा के आप आजाद जम्मू कश्मीर भेज दें और फिर आप उनसे काम करवाएं। जब उनको कल्चर के बारे में नहीं पता होगा तो नेशनल स्टाफ का ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है रादर के इंटरनेशनल स्टाफ का। Most international aid agencies still treated the problem of culture sensitivity primarily as an expatriate staff issue. तो ज्यादातर एजेंसीज का ये ख्याल था कि expatriate staff issue है, which was not there. So अब हमने दोनों मराहल तय कर लिए इस पूरी रिसर्च के, जिसके अंदर पहले मरहले में हमने रिलीफ एफर्ट को देखा, पाकिस्तान अर्थक्वेक रिस्पॉन्स के बारे में, और इसके अंदर हम लोगों ने रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एफर्ट को भी देखा, और ये भी देखा कि वो कौन कौन से इश्यूज थे जो कि एनजीओ वर्कर्स को, आईएनजीओ वर्कर्स को, ह्यूमैनिटेरियन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को, यूनाइटेड नेशंस को फेस हुए, जिसमें क्लस्टर अप्रोच से लेके एंड तक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन तक आपने एक नटशेल के अंदर ये ऑब्जर्व किया, और वो उन सारे केसेस को ऑब्जर्व किया और लोगों की राय भी आप लोगों के सामने पेश की। अगली दफा जब हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे तो इसका तीसरा पार्ट जो है हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे रिपोर्ट का, जिसमें हम लोग रिकमेंडेशंस भी देखेंगे, इंप्लीकेशंस ऑफ द स्टडी भी देखेंगे, और हम एट द एंड इस कंक्लूजन में पहुंचेंगे वो कौन सी पॉलिसी डिवाइस करनी चाहिए जब ऐसा अर्थक्वेक या ऐसा डिजास्टर पाकिस्तान को हिट हो। जैसे कि अभी रिसेंटली सैलाब ने हिट किया, तो उस दौरान भी बहुत सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ने काम किया, और अगर आपने बलूचिस्तान में जाके काम करना है सैलाब के अफेक्टेड एरियाज में, तो फिर उस दौरान आपको लैंग्वेज कल्चर आपको रीड आउट करना पड़ेगा एज एन एनजीओ वर्कर, एज ए नॉन प्रॉफिट सेक्टर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वर्कर, और देन आफ्टर दैट यू आर गोइंग टू वर्क इन दैट एरिया। उस वक्त के लिए शुक्रिया, अल्लाह हाफिज।